Verbal to visual, I'd like to share with you a visual metaphor that you might find useful. One to add to your bank of possible diagrams to use in the future. That visual metaphor is the iceberg, which, when drawn from the side like this, makes clear that what's seen from the outside is just a small percentage of everything else that's going on underneath. What makes this metaphor so useful and widely applicable is the fact that no matter what you look at, there is so much more going on behind the scenes compared to what you see from the outside. And diving down into the depths of what's going on underneath is worthwhile. That's where the interesting things live, the things that contribute to whatever is seen on the surface.
Everyone loses when an accident occurs. The injured employee, the employer, the company, and the insurance company. Not only do accidents cost billions of dollars each year in the construction trade, but they also cause needless suffering. Accident costs are classified in two different categories: direct costs and indirect costs. Direct costs include your medical costs, workers' compensation, and your liability and property insurance premiums. Indirect costs include property damage, equipment damage, the training or retraining of any worker, and production delays on the job. Indirect costs can also be called hidden costs, and they can be compared to the hidden portion of an iceberg. The biggest part of an iceberg is usually underwater and hidden from view. The tip of the iceberg represents the direct cost, while the portion that is hidden represents the indirect cost. The majority of costs that are associated with an accident fall into this category of indirect cost. Remember that an accident indirectly affects everyone on a job site, so be sure to follow proper safety procedures while on the job.
So usually costs divided into two, which is direct cost and indirect cost. For direct cost, usually the other name is insured cost, okay, or the real cost. So these are the costs that usually incurred once accident happens. So the first one is the medical expenses, which compensation, indemnity, and legal defense. So for medical expenses, for sure you need to send the victims to the hospital, and the company need to bear all the insurance costs, the which compensation if the victims claim for the compensation due to the accidents, and the legal defense if the victim bring this case to the court. So usually these are the direct costs that will insure to the company. The second one is the hidden cost or uninsured cost. So usually the uninsured amount or cost that company need to pay is 3 to 5 times greater than the direct cost. The cost of lost wages paid to injuries employees include medical treatment and time away from work not covered by insurance, sick leave, doctor's costs. Next is costs paid to other workers not injured, which is include those employees that stop work to watch, talk about, or to assist the injured, and those employees whose job is dependent on injured workers' product or tasks to accomplish their work. Next, cost of damage to material, property, or equipment. So they need to repair to any equipment or property damage in the accident. For example, the equipment, the machine, or the building itself. Besides the cost of overtime necessitated by the accidents, it includes costs to make up for loss of production, additional supervision, and additional operating expenses. Okay. Next, additional wages to supervision. It involves caring for the injured person, transporting injured to the medical facility, investigating accident, getting operation organized again. So these are the costs that will incur due to the supervision. Next, resuming to the normal activities. So you need to back again, all over again. It also include the instruction, the training, repositioning employees that may require hiring a replacement employees with all costs of hiring a new employees and diminishing productivity. So this is the setup cost that might incur due to the accident. Next, managerial or clerical personnel processing claims, forms and any related paperwork. Okay, for example, processing claims and related paperwork, tending telephone calls and communication related to the incidents, conducting interviews and investigation, attending hearings and uncovered legal costs. Next, wages due to the decreased productivity. So after employee returns to the work, capacity is diminishing because of the restricted movement. Employee is nervous and less confident due to the accident history, and employees spend time discussing incident with others employees, so it will decrease the productivity. Other than that, hidden costs includes reduced competitive position caused by delays, increased operating costs, rework time on damaged products, increased cost of insurance, higher labor rate, unfavorable publicity, civil penalties, fines, legal fees and time involvement for violence. These are the danger signs that indicates the larger problem, meaning to say the worst consequence once the accident happened. The consequence of the accident that might lead to the worst cases. Okay, so the first one, near misses. Okay, second, minor incidents, and the third one, serious incidents. For example, property damage, product damage, equipment damage, and employees' injuries. Next, production is not at optimum, profitability is reduced, employee morale is diminished, public image is damaged, and getting set up for the big one. Okay, so these are the danger signs if there is no correction action, control measure taken by the employers in order to minimize or to tackle those accident cases in a workplace. Okay guys, so I will show to you on how to extract the information about the article, especially for accident investigation. So usually we will address the 5 wife and 1 husband, which is what, where, when, why and who. Okay, and another one is how. Okay, so I have this one example newspaper regarding on the occupational accident. So the first one we need to address what. So I will highlight the information on what. Okay, so usually the title itself will answer for what. Okay, so here the title is workers fall to his death at Plaza Damas construction site. Okay, so this is the answer for what. The second one, you need to address the answer for where. Okay, for this article, you can see where the accident happened. Okay, so I will highlight the answer for where. On the 7th floor of condominium cum office block under construction. Construction site of Plaza Damas in Sri Hartamas. If you have detailed address, then you need to put the detailed info. Okay, for who, you can see here the victim is 34 years old Indonesian, identified only as Asmali. He is contractor workers who found dead on the workplace here. Okay, now for when. The news didn't mention the date of accident happened. Usually at the news you can get the date and the sources. Okay, so here the information just stated yesterday. For when, okay, the news stated his death about noon. Workers were on their lunch break. And another information, he was found dead yesterday. So usually at news, we will know when is the news is published. So if the news published today, so probably the accident happened yesterday, on the date yesterday. Alright. Now we proceed with why. Here you can see he was seen working on the 23rd floor before he fell to his death. This is why he fell from the 23rd floor. So basically, why is answer for the what. So the detail is he was seen working on the 23rd floor before he fell down. That's why he falls into his death. And the last one is how. Usually, how is factor, the stressor on why this accident happened. You can get the clue from this article. Okay, if you can see here, the chairman of NIOSH, Tan Sri Lee Lam Thai, okay, he said contractors should also carry out hazard identification, risk assessment and risk control on work site for the safety of the workers as well as the people. These places are bound. Okay, these places are bound to the risky, but we must control it. Okay, and he added supervisors of construction site should also ensure the workers wear protective gear, which is PPE. So from the clues here, you can see the probably accident causes due to the workers not wearing PPE. The second one, maybe you can add there is no proper SOP, there is no hazard identification, there is no risk assessment and control conducted or implement by contractors. You can highlight they ignore the SOP provided by contractors. So all the factors that you need to highlight for answer the how question usually already explained on the theory that we have learned before, like unsafe behavior, unsafe act, inappropriate activities, inappropriate response, lack of management control, and many more. Okay, so you can use either one from the factors that related to the theory and try to relate with the article clues stated on the case study. Okay, so I will summarize. Okay, so again, what is the title? Usually on the title. And the second one is when. Okay, so when is on the red highlight. Yesterday, his dad about noon were on their lunch break. Okay, next for the who. On the blue highlight, the victim is 33 years old Indonesian identified only as Ismaili. And where highlighted with green, the construction site on Plaza Damas in Sri Hartamas on the 7th floor of the condominium cum office block under construction. So that's for where. And the last one is why. On the yellow highlight, which is he was seen working on the 23rd floor before he fell down. That's why he fell down, because he worked from the 23rd floor. And to get the answer of how, you need to highlight the clue on how. For the clue, you can see here I have highlighted on purple color. As you can see here, I can conclude there are 3 causes. The first one is there is no proper assessment, there is no proper SOP conducted, trained or informed to the workers. For the second one, working environment is danger, risky to the workers. And the last one, workers did not use proper PPE. For example, he need to use harness, scaffolding and so on. That's all on how to do accident investigation.